10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for joining me today at Slot Valley Racing. For those who don't know, my name is Dan, and today we're going to do what we should have done a long time ago. Today we're going to have a look at all the cars that are available, the chassis, and what product to buy, and for why. Why would you buy this, or why would you buy that? Today we're going to have a look, we're going to examine, we're going to have a look at both the companies that are putting out slot car tracks. We're also going to have a look at two private companies' chassis, and we're going to talk about them for a little bit as well. Hey, it's time. Are you ready? Because I am. All this and more today on Slot Valley Racing. Get your heart racing.
It's showtime.
All right, so first off, we have the T-Jet, the Thunderjet 500, same type of idea. This is probably the smallest chassis that's built for the H.O track. Okay, and of course, that's the famous CUDA. That's the famous CUDA that ProTinkerToys.com used to give away. Brian and Ryan at ProTinkerToys.com. That was their free giveaway. And of course I got myself one, and here it is. Next we have the Extraction chassis. And this is Auto World's go-to. It's very labor intensive if you want it to run nice. And it's probably not going to be an easy start for you. This one is definitely a hobby style chassis. You could change out just about everything on this chassis, and you're probably going to have to. Here we have a Tyco. Of course, this is the Tyco chassis. This is the 440x2. This is the tried and true. This, I would argue with anybody, is probably the best chassis ever made. Here's what it looks like. Oops. And of course, it looks almost exactly like the Extraction, except it works forever. The Extraction will only run until you stop maintaining it. All right. So there you go. That's the Tyco 440x2. Here we have the 4-gear. This is the 4-gear by Auto World. This is what comes underneath all their dragsters and some of their cars. And we'll have a look and see what this one looks like. So essentially what you have here. Is a stretched out Extraction chassis, and you can see that right here. Now, the 4-gear chassis are made so you can change the axle in the front. And if you're having problems with these axles, I'll tell you right now, they don't make them to come off easy. So you're going to have to reef on them to get them apart. But they will come apart. Otherwise, they wouldn't bother putting the extra 3 holes on the front. All right. So that's your Extraction chassis. I find the 4-gears are really tight. I don't know why the 4-gears are put together better than the Extraction chassis, but I'd argue anybody that fact that indeed is the case. Okay. And of course, next we have the Mega G Plus chassis and car. Of course, we all know AFX Race Masters are well known for putting their cars on the track and you being able to drive them. So let's have a look at that one. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look at the bottom. All right. So this is your standard Mega G Plus setup now. Whether it be the 1.7 or the 1.5, it will look exactly like this. There's not a whole heck of a lot you can do here with this chassis. You can change out the magnets as I've done here, and change out the shoes if you wanted. And you can change the gearing if you want, but they go pretty darn quick already. Okay, so that's the Mega G Plus. Now, here we're getting into private, smaller businesses that are domestic in the United States. Here we have Jag Hobbies. This is for the dragster line, 4-gear dragster line. So it's for this shell, or of course it's for one of these. And this one is adjustable as well. You can change the front axle, of course. It does come with the clip. Now, you can get a lowrider clip too, so that the dragster chassis sits really low. It looks absolutely fantastic. Doesn't change the functionality, just looks really cool. So this is the GT version of the Jag Hobbies DR1. This is a DR1 GT. And you can see how it looks slightly different than the Auto World 4-gear. A lot less to it. Runs a lot better. Okay. 4-gear chassis by Auto World are good. They're just damn slow. They're really slow. You expect that when you're going to drive a dragster down the track, it's going to be super fast, but that is not the case whatsoever. Okay, and here we have, of course, this is the Viper. This is the Poly Mod, and this is the fastest fastest production chassis, and it's also made. This one's made really well. Of course, you'll pay for what you get here. You're pretty much paying for what you get on all of these. Although here with Jag Hobbies, you're getting absolute quality. This is one heck of a fantastic chassis. And if you want to spend the extra money, you'll get the Viper Poly Mod. Absolutely fantastic. Super tight. Runs really well. Gonna need a little more juice in your track though. Of course, here we have the Mega G Plus car, and I've already showed you I've changed out the magnets. Just to a level 42. I find the level 30 magnets are not enough. So make sure you order yourself some Viper level 42s. Makes a world of difference, and you'll find you'll have a way more enjoyable time when your car stays on the track. These cars are so fast and so light that they just want to leave the track all the time. The $4 it's going to cost you to get those magnets level 42, I'll tell you right now, it'll be the best purchase you make for your slot cars. You'll say, I'm glad I listened to Dan. I'm glad I did that, okay? There's a reason why people are doing the SVR treatment, the level 42 magnets, because I've already tested them in an extensive, lengthy testing, and the level 42 magnets are worth
Family firm. Oh, son of a...
All AFX Race Masters cars should be coming with level 42, not level 30, all right? Of course, here we have, once again, we have the 4-gear, right? Now, the 4-gear, I'll put that next to, okay. So what we have here is Jag Hobbies. This is the DR1 GT. Absolutely fantastic. The DR1 itself is really fast. And then you make a DR1 GT, and it goes even, I don't know, 50% faster than that even, okay? So this is the regular one, all right? You can see the motors are mounted differently, okay? It's all this gearing that slows the car down. So as soon as this one's ready to roll, it's gone, because the motor, the shaft is attached directly to the chassis, or pardon me, directly to the back axle. And here it's got to go through 4 gears before it gets to the back axle, all right? So you have to buy these separately, of course, but they're worth buying. They're not really expensive. I think I paid $30 for the GT, and I would do it again. It's well worth it. In the future, I'll be replacing a lot more of my cars with DR1s. I really like them. They're nice and clean. They're sleek, and they're cost effective. They're really nice. Of course, that's the 4-gear, and it looks just like the Extraction chassis. All right. So let's talk about the Extraction chassis for a minute. All right. So what we got here is a whole boatload of sloppiness. All right. First off, these are so incredibly sloppy. And if you look at the mountings here for the shoes, they're always crooked. And what they'll do is they'll push the shoe sideways. Okay. Now, I'll tell you right now, if you're going to buy the Extraction chassis or you're going to buy the 4-gear cars, all right, you would have to be crazy not to buy Extraction pit kit for it, because I will guarantee you, I will give you the SVR guarantee 100% though that you will lose a spring or a shoe will pop off. And then you know what happens when you don't have a spare? Well, now you get to stare at your car and you get to look at your track because you won't be driving it anymore. Good luck trying to find one of these springs as soon as it hits your floor. Pfft, good luck. Man, you can never have enough of pit kits. So my suggestion to you, if you're going to run the Extraction cars, all right, for the Extraction cars, which is pretty much these two, because like I said, remember, the 4-gear Extraction chassis is exactly the same as the normal Extraction chassis. It's just a little bit longer, has one more gear, okay, and the front axle is movable on the 4-gear chassis, all right? So keep that in mind. You can actually make this 4-gear exactly like the Extraction. You're running the car with one more gear. That means it's going to be just a little bit slower on the takeoff because all those gears have to engage. If you've ever seen a train leave the station, the whole entire train doesn't all leave at once. If you look carefully, every car is bumping forward as it gets to the next car. So in the train, the car will be going forward, right? The train will be moving, the engine starts pulling, and then it grabs this car, and then it goes, so now it's got this car. Then it grabs the car behind that and does the exact same thing until they bump all the way up until there's tension on all the cars, all right? It's almost exactly the same thing, okay? So now we'll have a look at the, what we got here is the 440 times 2. Once again, I will argue anybody this fact that this indeed is the best chassis ever made. All right? If you have a 440 times 2, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And my guess is it's still running. Okay? If you don't have a 440 times 2 and you're tired of tinkering around with garbage, then you need to find yourself some 440s times 2. They're all over eBay. Brand new in package still. Shouldn't be paying more than $35, $40 for them. And you're getting those with great liveries like this, right? You get them like this, okay? So they're nice looking liveries. They actually have NASCAR logos on them. They look great, okay? Keeping in mind that it hasn't been produced in quite a bit of years now. So you will find them with the NASCAR logos on them because at one point, slot cars wanted their cars to look like the race cars on the track. Now they're being so damn cheap that there's not a chance. You're wondering why everything's disappearing? Well, you wonder why we don't have cars that look fantastic like this anymore? Hey? Wouldn't we like to see a reprint of these? Right? Instead, we're going to get a whole bunch of different liveries for this car. I really wish they would just bring the solid colors back for this car. Throwing it out there once and then having them disappear is not really a great way to do business. There are plenty of cars out there that could be being repumped, and AFX could be making lots of money off them. AFX, if you're listening, if you go into your inventory and everything that says out of stock, if you were to reprint it and we would all wait, you would make a ton of cash. All right? I think everybody wants at least one of these cars in one of the liveries. And I think there's like 8 liveries for this style of car, this Peugeot. Okay. Or the Audi. Maybe we'd like some Audis, right? Maybe we'd like the Audi R8. Some reprints on the Audi R8. All right. Now, this is the Audi R8. This is not the Audi R10, okay? So I understand that it's labeled as an R10, and I'll tell you right now, everybody who has this labeled as an R10, including AFX, is absolutely wrong, okay? This is the test car that never got driven on the track. What we have here is the test car, Audi R8, and then when the car went to the track, it became the Audi R10. Well, this is the Peugeot, but pardon me, I guess that was the Audi. I don't have any of the Audis. Okay, so we'll talk about these two privately made cars. These were domestically made in the United States by 2 companies. Of course, we have Jag Hobbies. This is the DR1. This is the GT. And here we have the Viper Polymod. This is not a cheap car. And of course, neither of these cars come with shells. This car is made specifically to fit underneath the 4-gear, right? So that's the 4-gear. And absolutely fantastic fit. Fits absolutely perfect. It looks great. And here we go. So there we go. And that's what it looks like. Right? All right. Now for the Polymod come with a clip. But I didn't put a car on it because I wanted to leave it the way it is right now so that I could show, it's much easier to show it when I don't have to disassemble it. Okay, so that's the 2 private companies. You will not be buying these cars with a set at all. These cars will be purchased individually off the internet. Chances are you'll probably either go directly to both of their sites at viperscaleracing.com or jaghobbies.com, and that is where you'll purchase these, or of course you'll get them off eBay and you'll pay somebody to hand them to you. So my suggestion is just go straight to the company. All right. Okay, so now we'll bring forward only the cars that you will get in a set these days. Okay, so here we have the Extraction. We have the 4-gear. We have the T-Jet or the Thunderjet 500. And of course, we have this car. Pardon me. Come on. Actually, I don't. We'll use this one. This one's not jacked. There we go. Okay. All right. Then we have this car. All right. Now, this car is not from a set. It was purchased separately. I believe it did come in a set at one point. I'm pretty sure about that, actually. Okay, so, or you're going to get a car in your set if you buy an AFX Race Masters car, and this is what it'll look like, okay? It's not going to look any different than this on the bottom. The only difference is it's going to be 0.2 longer or 0.2 shorter. It's either going to be the 1.5 chassis or it's going to be the 1.7. Here we have the 1.7 chassis, and I don't have a 1.5 handy. Oh, wait a second. Yes, I do. That's a lie. Here we go. And of course, my favorite GT right here. This is definitely it. And of course, it has the SVR treatment. And this is a 1.5. You can tell by the wheels lining up that the GT is definitely a little bit shorter. And that as well does make a difference when you go to the track. All right. So you're going to have one of these 4 cars in the set you buy. All right. Okay. So now you're thinking about buying a track. All right. So that means you have one of 2 choices. You're either going to choose an Auto World product or you're going to choose an AFX Race Masters product. There may be smaller other companies out there, but if you are looking in the marketplace, this is probably the 2 tracks that you're going to end up buying. You're going to buy one of these. So you're going to buy the AFX track or you're going to buy the Auto World track. Now, you're asking, they look almost exactly the same, and for the most part they are. The only difference these days is kind of like buying a Chevy, a Dodge, or a Ford truck. They're all good. It's all about personal preference, okay? If you buy a modern day truck, they're all the same. If you buy the F1500, or sorry, if you buy the 1500 Ram, you buy the F150, okay? Or you buy the Chevy, you're getting a quality truck. We're at the point now where all the trucks on the low range passenger style are all almost exactly the same. It's all about your preference and your style. I don't really like the way the Ram looks. I think it can be improved, but I'm a Ford person. So I'm a Ford Motor Performance. I'm heavy into Ford trucks. I really like my F-150. I have never had a problem with it. I should not have said that, but I just did. It's a 2017 and I'm the original owner, okay? It's no better than the Chevy 1500 or the Ram. It's no different. They're all quality trucks. It's all about how it looks, all right? So that being said, there is a bit of a difference when it comes to how the cars run, okay? So that's what the AFX car will look like, or something like that, okay? Now, we'll let it go around. We'll have a look at the chassis super quick, all right? So when you're making your decision, here's something to keep in mind, all right? Now, I want you to remember, whenever you have something mechanical, Elon Musk says it best. The best part is no part, okay? And he's absolutely correct. The less moving parts you have, the less that can go wrong. Now, all right? And here is the Auto World extraction chassis. Now, let's remember what I just said about moving parts, okay? There is all the moving parts on an Auto World car. And there is literally 2 moving parts. We got an axle and a pinion gear, if they're moving correctly. Okay? And that's it. Now, if you look at this extraction, this is just the top. Count the moving parts. 1, 2, 3. Okay? I'm not even talking about the armature. Just the gears. Right? That's 3 moving parts on the top. And look at all of these parts underneath. Wow. Okay. So, and this is the problem, all right? Now, what'll happen was this will fly off the track. The shoe will bump off. You'll lose the spring, which sits underneath that cup right there. Okay. And of course, these here will be crooked every once in a while too. You need to straighten these out right there. That needs to be straightened out. Otherwise, what happens is your shoe sits crooked. It's a big pain in the ass, all right? All right, so this will be your other choice. Now, of course, the 4-gear is exactly the same as the extraction. It's just a little bit longer, all right? So you can see this one's already been moved up. This is a 4-gear in an extraction size chassis. You can see how it's been moved. You can see 2 more holes there, 1, 2. Now, somebody's been having problems getting the front wheels apart. Now, this is a bit of a pain in the ass, and it might not feel like it's going to happen, but it definitely will happen. And what happens is, if you just create some tension there and just pull, twist and pull, okay? And there you can see it's literally just sitting on the pole. So, and then of course, if you wanted to move it, you just take it out, move it to a different hole, right? It's not bad. I'm doing this by looking through the camera, which is really hard. Okay. And there you go. Okay, so that's through the top hole. Now, of course, we need it through the bottom hole in order for it to fit the mystery machine. And where are we? Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're just going to push it back on. Not super tight, though. Make sure you leave it a little bit of room to play. Yeah, see, this is what happens when you push down too tight. It doesn't spin. Okay, so just back it off a hair. Just a hair. Right? See that? And it's also not wobbling back and forth. Okay, there's a little bit of play, but it's not wobbling back and forth. What happens when it wobbles back and forth is it'll actually whip your car right off the track, because the tires and the axle move in the direction that the car is traveling in, but the wheels want to stay on the track. So the whole thing jams to the side, and then that's when the car whips off the track. First off, if something goes wrong with your AFX track, you can warranty it and call them. If something goes wrong with your Auto World track, they don't want to return anything, and they don't stand behind their product. All right, so that is a major catch. Now, once again, if you buy Auto World and Auto World cars, you're gonna have an awful long time to get it set up. If you manage to get it running by just dropping it on the track and going, then I'll tell you right now, I really hope you buy yourself a pit kit, because you're going to end up losing a shoe spring, a shoe, something's going to happen, you're going to break a guide pin. The list is quite lengthy as to what will happen. I want to thank you all for watching today. I want to thank you for taking the time and giving me a little bit of yours. I appreciate it. Time is the one thing we'll never get enough, and I thank you for sharing some of yours with me. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you're not sure or you have any questions, maybe there's something you'd like me to cover, hey, I'm that guy. Why don't you swing me a little message and we'll get down on it. Always gives me something to do and a little something more to bring for the community, bring to the community. I just want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. When you're going to make your purchase, I want to make sure that you've made the right purchase, because a slot car track is something that you'll have forever because they last forever. Some of the cars may not last forever, but I could almost guarantee you that if you have track when you were a kid and it's put away somewhere, well, then you still have track. It's just going to be a little bit different than what's being run today. And they do make pieces so you can interchange them now. If I were you, I would go check out Brian Young at ProTinkerToys.com. Go see Brian or Ryan Young, and they'll get you the pieces you need so you can attach your old Aurora track or your whatever track to your AFX track. All right? I want to thank you all for watching today. Absolutely fantastic. I want to thank all my subscribers. Man, you guys are great. I want to thank all my members. Going to be dropping that video in the member section right away. Keep watching, guys. I want to thank you all. Absolutely fantastic. To anybody who's not a member yet, or, to anybody who's not a member, hey, maybe it's time. To anybody who's not a subscriber, my guess is you're past due. It's time to hit that subscribe button, and while you're there, smash the shit out of that like button. You got my permission. And don't forget, if you don't like what you see, 100% money back guarantee. I will refund 100% of your purchase price if you don't like what you see. But how could you not like this? Come on now. Thanks, guys. From all of us here at Slot Valley Racing, don't forget, get your heart racing.
What?
Did we just become best friends? Yup. You want to go do
Slot cars in the garage?
Yup.